So I have done a video talking about Stargate going international, and it's confused a lot of people. So let me just add this little bit of addendum. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. Right, so I talked in my last video about this business model idea, sort of copying what Amazon have done with the Citadel, where they have created the Citadel show, the main show set in the West actors, blah, 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 English actors, American actors, blah. And then they are planning to do a bunch of series that are more for international markets. So India will have its own Citadel show based in India, Australia might, blah, blah, blah. And I suggested that that might be a brilliant idea for Stargate, that you could create international TV shows produced internationally. So, for example, say India, 1.4 billion potential gators. You could create a TV show produced by an Indian production company, obviously paid for by Amazon Prime, that actually has Indian actors, that they, at least in part, speak their native languages. But I also think also at least partly in English, because actually they do speak English a lot in India. But then that it would be primarily for the market of India. But if it's done well, at high enough standard, and there is enough English involved, etc., it could be a TV show that we would then watch here as well. That it would be within universe, within canon. It would be, at least in some ways, related to the what I would call the main TV show that would be produced probably in the United States. That there is only one Stargate at the end of the day, so there is one main show where the actual Stargate is, and that then what we could end up getting is, say, 4 or 5 TV series running every year. You could have Stargate, the main show, Stargate Alpha Site, Stargate Australia, Stargate Indian SG9 or something. Maybe a Chinese show based aboard a BC-306 that would be, again, a Chinese crew perhaps. Maybe they speak Chinese occasionally. Maybe they speak English a fair bit as well. It is a show that could really have one foot in both continents. Now, a lot of people have said, look, I don't want this because I want it to be in English. I don't want a show that goes out of canon. Say an Indian production company wants to go a different way. And I understand that. But what we really do need to remember is something I maybe didn't explain in the original video very well, is this would be a way to get TV shows that otherwise wouldn't get made, wouldn't get funded. So you produce a TV show specifically for the Indian audience, the Indian market, you can get that funded reasonably locally. That is a TV show that otherwise wouldn't be made. So it would add to canon. I would love the idea of, like, the movies pulling in bits and threads from all the different series. But at the same time, they could be series that you might not watch. In the same way that we get a lot of Spanish TV and things like that on Netflix and wherever else, I don't necessarily watch it. I also think, though, that this is not only a good business model, it's good financial sense for Amazon. It's also very good at spreading the Stargate word, so we get more gators. More popularity equals more TV, more movies, more everything. But also, it is probably the future. And I think because of streaming, we're becoming more used to seeing these sorts of TV shows, like TV shows from North Korea and South Korea. North Korea television would be very different. South Korea, a lot of TV shows are being made in sort of North Africa and Nigeria and places like this, and we will watch it here. Now, I'm not a massive fan of reading my television, but they could mix the languages up. They could use a bit of native language so that it is still interesting, but also actually have a bit of English because it is probably the most spoken language on the planet. So I actually think this is a really interesting possibility from a business point of view, from an entertainment point of view, and it wouldn't take away from anything that we would have got anyway. And that's really the important point that I think a lot of people are maybe stressing out about, is that they are thinking, I don't want my Stargate show to have a bunch of Chinese in it because I'm not going to understand it. The Chinese Stargate show made specifically for that market might have some Chinese in, but it doesn't necessarily mean our Stargate would. It's an addition. I'm hoping that's a little bit clearer. Also, I'm going to say that this is an idea that was put forward by Jenny Stiven. I think it was a brilliant idea. It is not something that we've heard from our sources at Amazon necessarily, but it is something that Amazon are doing with other television shows, so we wanted to discuss the possibility. Get into the comments, go, tell me what you think. And I'd love to know if you think this is just a bad idea for other reasons other than, the language barrier. Are there actual practical reasons that we're not thinking about of why this maybe wouldn't work? I'd love to know. Get in the comments. As always, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Don't forget to go over to patreon.com/SciTrek, where you get to see most of our videos first. And, generally, be happy, and I'll speak to you soon.